Before I turn 65, I'm planning on making that my biggest season ever. Make some real money. So let's say we just spent $5 million worth on equipment, but we're gonna come back here with 3 times more iron than we're left with.
Tony Beets, the man every gold miner either fears or idolizes, dropped a bombshell that's shaking the entire gold rush fandom. The mining season officially kicks off November 7th, and get this, they're chasing an absolutely insane $100 million in gold. Tony's been digging for nearly 40 years, and the man's still hungrier than ever. Now, he's back, meaner, tougher, and ready to outdo himself. So before you scroll away, trust me, you'll want to stick around till the end, because what's coming next might just redefine everything we thought we knew about Tony Beets. And Gold Rush itself. Tony Beets from Gold Rush is breaking big news. According to recent reports, fans of Gold Rush have something big to look forward to. The hit Discovery Channel show is officially returning for its 16th season on Friday, November 7th at 8/7 Central. And this time, it's not just about digging dirt and chasing gold, it's about breaking records. The miners are aiming for their most ambitious goal yet, a collective payday of $100 million worth of gold. Can you imagine that? Even for seasoned gold miners, that's a jaw-dropping target. But if there's anyone who can make such a wild dream look possible, it's Tony Beets, the man they call the King of the Klondike. Reports revealed that Tony's operation kicked off the season with an incredible $500,000 gold haul in just 1 week, setting the tone for what might become his most remarkable year yet. It almost feels like Tony's saying, "You think I've peaked? Watch this." At nearly 65 years old, Tony Beets doesn't seem to be slowing down, not even a little. People have apparently asked him if he's planning to retire soon, and his answer couldn't have been more Tony-like. He reportedly said, "People may ask if I'm going to retire or do this or that. I tell them I'll leave it in a box. That will be about it." Isn't that such a classic Tony response? It shows how deeply this man is tied to mining. It's not just a career for him, it's a way of life. After spending over 4 decades in the dirt, chasing the kind of fortune most people can only dream of, Tony still wakes up every morning ready to push even harder. In fact, he's proving that point with his wallet too. Reports confirmed that he recently invested around $5 million in new equipment, including an 850-horsepower D11 dozer and a massive 950 excavator, said to be the largest in all of Yukon. It makes you wonder, what kind of person keeps reinvesting millions into something when most people his age are thinking about beach houses and retirement plans? The answer, of course, is someone who truly loves what he does. This new season of Gold Rush also brings an interesting twist to the storyline. Beyond the heavy machinery and long mining days, there's something more personal unfolding: the changing dynamics within the Beets family. Tony's eldest son, Kevin, has reportedly decided it's time to step out of his father's shadow and prove himself as a leader. How does a young miner prove he's ready to take the reins from someone as dominant as Tony? By setting huge goals of his own. Kevin is reportedly trying to double his gold total from last season, which would send a clear message that he's ready to run his own operation. Interestingly, despite rumors swirling about Tony's possible retirement, those who know him well say that slowing down isn't even in his vocabulary. He reportedly mentioned that he plans to go flat out for a while. Day shift, night drift. Oh yeah, 24 hours a day. That's right, he's going all in, aiming to reach a staggering target of 9,000 ounces, which means hauling in 475 ounces every single week. It almost sounds impossible, doesn't it? But if anyone can pull off the impossible, it's Tony Beets. And instead of downsizing, he's reportedly doing the opposite. He's working with 3 times more iron than before, a clear sign that expansion, not retirement, is what's really on his mind. What makes this stage of Tony's career so fascinating is how it's become about more than just gold. It's about legacy. He seems to be thinking ahead, not only for himself, but for his children. "We're very fortunate to be setting the kids up nicely," he reportedly said, adding that they have enough ground where they can do this for a long time. That statement says so much. It's as if Tony isn't just building wealth anymore, he's building something that will outlive him. After all, isn't that what most people dream of? To build something that outlives them, something raw, real, and unforgettable. But Tony Beets? He doesn't just dream it, he digs it, breathes it, and bleeds it. His story isn't just about gold, it's about grit. So stay glued, because this legend runs deep. Tony Beets, the man behind the legend. Tony Beets was born in a small village called Widnes in the Netherlands in December 1959. He grew up on his family's farm, where life was simple but full of hard work. From an early age, he learned what it meant to put in long hours, often helping with chores and taking care of the animals. He started out milking cows, a job that demanded patience, strength, and commitment. People often said that a person's childhood shapes who they become later in life, and in Tony's case, that couldn't be truer. The discipline, the routine, and the sense of responsibility that came with growing up on a farm stayed with him. He was the kind of man who didn't wait around for things to happen. He made them happen. When Tony eventually decided to leave the Netherlands and head to Canada's Yukon territory in 1984, it wasn't out of whim or adventure. He was chasing opportunity. Life on the farm had taught him that effort only paid off when directed toward the right goal. He'd once heard people say that the North was where fortunes were made, that you could make more money in the North than anywhere else. So he packed up and went north, hoping to carve out a better life. But who could have guessed then that this young Dutch farmer would one day become one of the most recognizable faces in gold mining history? In the Yukon, Tony built a reputation that matched his booming voice and fierce presence. He wasn't the kind of man who sugar-coated things or softened his words. His crew quickly learned that he meant exactly what he said when he told them, "No sluicing, no gold, no money, right?" It wasn't just a catchy line, it was a rule, plain and simple. Excuses didn't fit into Tony's world. People around him said he ran his mining operation like he used to run his dairy farm, efficient, practical, and with zero tolerance for laziness. Was it tough working for him? Absolutely. But many would also admit that his honesty and work ethic earned him their respect. After all, who wouldn't want to follow someone who not only talks about hard work, but lives it every single day? Fans across the world eventually came to know him as the Viking of the Yukon. Now, Tony wasn't Scandinavian by blood, he was Dutch, but everything about him fit the image of a Viking. The long beard, the rugged build, the colorful language, and that unbreakable willpower all fed into the legend. He didn't just look like a Viking, he worked like one too. He faced the harsh Yukon weather, endless machinery breakdowns, and financial risks with a boldness that few could match. When things went wrong, Tony didn't panic. He simply looked at the situation and figured out what needed fixing. His fearlessness made him not just a miner, but a symbol of grit. Isn't it funny how some nicknames just stick because they fit so perfectly? That Viking persona became such a big part of who he was that it helped make Gold Rush, the Discovery Channel show that followed his life and work, an international hit. Viewers didn't just tune in for the gold, they tuned in for Tony. People saw a man who spoke his mind, worked with his hands, and didn't care much for showy words or fake smiles. He was real, and that's what drew people to him. In a world where so much feels scripted, Tony's no-nonsense attitude was a breath of fresh air. Fans often said he reminded them of a time when success was earned through sweat, not shortcuts. Before the fame and the television cameras, Tony started small, just like everyone else. He worked as a machine operator, took on any labor job he could find, and never complained. He believed that to make something of yourself, you had to earn it the hard way. As his mining career grew, he lived by one principle: to make money in gold, you must first be willing to spend it. That meant investing in equipment, taking risks, and trusting his instincts, even when the odds were against him. When others hesitated, Tony acted. He once said that when the chance to try a gold dredge came up, he thought, "Hey, I've always wanted to try a dredge. Let's give that a try." That simple mindset, willing to take chances but grounded in experience, defined his success. Today, Tony Beets is more than a miner. He's a symbol of hard work and perseverance. From a humble Dutch farm to the icy rivers of the Yukon, his story shows what can happen when a person refuses to quit. People admire him not only for the wealth he's built, but for the values he represents: honesty, discipline, and the belief that effort always pays off. He's living proof that even if you start small, you can end up with something extraordinary if you put your heart into it. And maybe that's exactly why his story still gives people chills, because it's not just about gold, it's about grit. About a man who turned the harshest land into a legacy. But before you think it was all him, wait till you see how his entire family got pulled into the dream. The Beets family business. Beyond the rough and intimidating exterior that earned Tony Beets the nickname the Viking, lies something far more layered and fascinating. A family empire built on grit, loyalty, and smart planning. People might see him on television, barking orders, and covered in dirt, but behind all that bravado is a story that stretches across decades and continents. It all started in the Netherlands, where two neighbors, both determined and hardworking, built a bond that would one day turn into a multi-million-dollar mining dynasty. Who would have guessed that a friendship in a quiet Dutch town would eventually lead to an empire worth over $19 million? At the heart of this empire is Minnie Beets, Tony's wife and lifelong partner, both in business and in life. After 46 years together and 44 years of marriage, she isn't just the woman behind the man. She's the backbone of their entire operation. Unlike what most people expect from reality TV couples, Minnie doesn't play the passive, supportive role in the background. She's the one keeping the books straight, managing the finances, and ensuring that every dollar earned is put to good use. Tony himself once said with his usual blunt honesty, "She does the money, and I do the sandbox." And isn't that the perfect description of balance? While Tony thrives on taking risks and diving headfirst into new projects, Minnie is the anchor that keeps the family business grounded. Without her careful financial oversight, who knows how many risky decisions might have drained their fortune instead of building it? Their partnership works because it's real, raw, and rooted in trust. They've been through the unpredictable highs and lows of mining together. And while Tony's tough personality might steal the spotlight, those close to the Beets family know that Minnie is the quiet force holding everything together. She's the reason the operation runs smoothly behind the scenes. Many might wonder, how do they manage to keep their marriage and business so stable in an industry that thrives on chaos? Perhaps the secret lies in their ability to balance strength with understanding. Tony leads with passion, while Minnie leads with precision. Then there are their children, Monica, Kevin, and Mike, each carving out their own space within the family legacy. Monica handles the delicate task of cleaning the gold, a job that requires patience, precision, and a steady hand. It's a role that might seem small from the outside, but anyone who knows mining understands that this stage is where the fruits of endless hard work finally become visible. Kevin, on the other hand, is the mechanical mind of the family. As the equipment operator and mechanic, he's the one who ensures that the massive machines powering their operations keep running without a hitch. Recently, he's even taken steps toward independence, securing his own 44-acre claim at Scryer Creek, a move that shows both ambition and the independence Tony encourages in his kids. And then there's Mike, who oversees the Paradise Hill operation and manages the night shift, keeping production going around the clock. It's a demanding role that calls for responsibility, discipline, and trust. But Mike handles it with the same determination his father is known for. Together, they form a well-oiled machine, each person understanding their place and contribution. The Beets family doesn't just rely on luck or television fame, they rely on structure, planning, and hard work. Tony's operation runs on an incredibly strategic system that's rare even in the mining world. While most crews focus on what's right in front of them, the Beets family is always 3 steps ahead. They plan multiple seasons in advance. As they mine one plot of land, they're already preparing another for future use, sometimes 3 years ahead. It's a methodical approach that ensures they never run out of ground to work on, and it's one of the reasons they've stayed at the top for so long. Isn't that the kind of foresight every business dreams of having? Of course, managing a family business isn't always easy. Tony admits that he's harder on his kids than he would ever be on an employee. He expects excellence, not because he's cruel, but because he knows what it takes to survive in such a brutal industry. Yet, for all his strictness, he's also fair. He pays them well, treats them as equals in the business, and reminds them that they're free to chase their own dreams if they ever want to branch out. It's a form of tough love, demanding yet deeply rooted in care. When Tony talks about the future, his goal couldn't be clearer. "We're very fortunate to be setting the kids up nicely," he says. And that's exactly what they've done. With enough mining ground secured to last for years, the Beets family isn't just thinking about the next gold season, they're thinking about legacy. Theirs is a story about resilience, about knowing when to take risks and when to play it safe, about keeping family at the center of everything. And in an industry where fortunes rise and fall with the swing of a shovel, that kind of unity might just be the most valuable treasure of all. So when people look at Tony Beets and see just the rugged miner with a booming voice and a fearless attitude, they're only seeing one side of the story. Behind every ounce of gold Tony Beets digs up lies more than just grit and luck. It's years of planning, discipline, and family ties that could rival any empire. What you see on camera is only a fraction of what really goes on behind the scenes. The shouting, the breakdowns, the impossible deadlines. Every challenge shaped the legend he is today. And just when you think you've seen it all, life throws him a curveball that tests everything he stands for. So stay glued, because up next we're diving into the real challenges that nearly broke Tony Beets for good. Challenges that tested his resolve. Behind the gold success stories lie formidable obstacles that have tested even Tony Beets's legendary determination. His journey hasn't been without significant challenges that threatened his mining empire. In 2014, a joke gone bad landed Beets in Yukon Territorial Court facing pollution charges. The incident involved gasoline being poured into a dredge pond on his claims and set on fire, captured on camera for Gold Rush. Subsequently, Beets was charged under the Yukon Waters Act for allowing this environmental violation. His former employee was fined $1,725 after pleading guilty to pouring the gasoline. Additionally, bureaucratic challenges have plagued his operations. A simple paperwork mistake, a 1-acre clerical error on his water license, once cost him an entire mining season. Throughout the 7-month gold mining season, Beets and his crew endure 12 to 14-hour days, often in punishing weather conditions. This physically demanding schedule continues 7 days a week, battling constant equipment breakdowns and time constraints. Although TV exposure showcases their work, Beets focuses on responsible mining. It's not the mess we make, but the good we leave behind. Yet he maintains clear priorities between television and actual mining, stating about retirement, "You want to enjoy your life. That is what I've been doing every day for the last 40 years. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do well to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. To enjoy more thrilling stories, click now on the following video that pops up on your screen.